Hello friends. So in these series of videos, I thought of making important topics which are relevant in newspaper. So by this, I wanted to make you understand that reading newspaper is very helpful for prelims, and the 2024 preliminary examination paper, you can check for this importance in the newspaper articles. And I would also stress on how do you read newspaper in relation to the topics which are relevant in prelims and mains, because some students have said that they are reading newspaper for 2 or 3 hours. So how do you reduce that, and what are the important articles? Those are the things that we are going to see in this video series of videos. I'm not going to make one video, but I'm going to make some videos till this 2024 prelims. First article or first basic thing is that reading newspaper is for one newspaper. One newspaper is enough. This 2 or 3 newspaper is an absurd logic. No one can do that. It's just that one newspaper, and even in that, important articles. So that is what I'm going to stress in this. So now we'll go into this topic, which is about the census, written by Jean Drèze, and he was a very prominent member in this UPA government. It had its planning commission, and he was one of the advisory person, and hence you have to know what he has written in this article. So basically he talks about census and its correlation, or census and its importance or significance, and so you have to correlate this topic with polity Lakshmikant. This is the book I suggest. There is no other book better than Lakshmikant for polity. Please check this book for the relevant articles and relevant details as discussed in the video. Now we will come to this point. Jean Drèze in this article talks about how the ruling government is delaying the census so that it wants delimitation exercise for the 2029 Lok Sabha election. You should now know what is this delimitation exercise that this person is talking about. Delimitation, now you check it here. Delimitation refers to periodic attempts for improving or increasing the number of seats with respect to the population of the state, and it is given in Article 81. Exactly, this is what I am referring. So now once you know that this census or this delimitation article pertains to this, you have to look two books. One is this Lakshmikant, as to know what is the details of these article, and the next is the Bakshi book, which is the book which has the relevant article pertaining to this exact detail. This is how you read polity. Now you talk about, so once you finish this, so that is the point. Once you finish this, you should also understand that articles which are or very important prelims question which are important that you should know. Now see this 2024 prelims question paper has this delimitation, or delimitation is a question that was asked this time. You can check it here. Now look at this question, how many times the delimitation has happened in India. So by this you can now come to a conclusion that reading newspaper, you should not just merely read, you should analyze things. So you can check for other articles which I have shared in Minds of Aspirants, where you can look at how this delimitation happens and stuff like that. Now come to this point where Jean Drèze talks about, maybe I'll share that article in a moment, and you can check that article also. Jean Drèze talks about this delimitation not being conducted, and it was 84th Amendment Act which said that 2026, that is what 84th Amendment Act says is that any census after 2026 should be used for delimitation. So if we not deny, but if we delay the 2021 census, which was delayed because of corona, now it has to be conducted, that is 2024-25. If it is not conducted, and if it is conducted after 2026, then the 2029 elections should have this delimitations done. Now what is the issue that he is talking about is that 2029, if we make this delimitation, there is a problem for states in the southern southern part of the peninsula, because this delimitation, which has been frozen by this 84th Amendment Act, is basically based on 1971 census. After 1971 census, there has been an improvement in the total fertility rate of the southern states. That is, they have decreased and total fertility rate for the northern states have increased. So this means that more seats for the northern states, less seats for the southern states. Now again, go back to the question paper. Again, you can check total fertility rate. You can check one more question where they talk about the D is the answer. Not only this, you can also check the one more population related question where they talk about demography being in an old age, which is actually the answer is Italy, Japan and South Korea. Like this, you have to analyze the question paper and the newspaper that you read. Now come to this point where, as I said, so the southern states have declining population, like you saw in Italy, Korea and Russia. That is what is happening. But northern states are having a higher thing, like in the West African and Central African nations. So there is a discrepancy in the number of population. So when the delimitation happens, the number of seats will increase for the northern states and not for the southern states. So what they say, or what the article is saying, is that that's why this delimitation exercise is now being postponed, because the 84th Amendment Act says only an census after 2026 can have effect. So after 2026, any census is done, that's what is to be taken into effect. So if we delay this 2025 census, or which should have been in 2020 till 2026, then the delimitation can happen in 2030 itself or 2029 itself, or else it has to go about 2030. But what Jean Drèze is saying is that this is creating a lot of issues in the welfare schemes that is there. He is saying that if the census is updated, nearly 100 million people will improve or increase the National Food Security Act number. This is actually MAINS related thing. You can quote it in MAINS. There is inclusive growth is there. So this is how you read. You relate prelims and mains and then you read this article, not a direct thing. But one more question is that 106 Amendment of the Constitution. It says that under section 5, after an exercise of delimitation is undertaken, for this purpose, relevant figures for the first census taken after is published, you have to have a women's reservation bill passed after this delimitation is undertaken based on the census 2023. Please note this down. Now check the article, or not now check the question which has been asked. Now in 2024, now look at this question. They say that provisions will come into effect from the 18th Lok Sabha. No, one is wrong. You will have 2, 3 as an answer. Now again check this article. It's very clearly given that the 84th Amendment Act can be used as a point, or census as a point for delimitation or reservation of women on the basis of the point which was there before. No need of now census being conducted for the delimitation is what this article says. But it has no point in saying, or it is not meaning that it comes into effect after this 18th Lok Sabha. No, this is a wrong statement. Now think about the question. Now think about how you relate. Now think about and the point he says is that so census has to be done, women's reservation has to be undertaken. 106. Please note down this amendment as well. It's very important. Now come to this conclusion. So he concludes by saying that whatever be the case, census has to be done, so that and women's reservation, because it is depriving so many people of their essential items just because for some electoral gains, is what this article says. And hence many of the articles that are going to come in this newspaper I'm going to discuss. You can also put your doubts in this MoA, or the link for Minds of Aspirant I'll put there. Please do subscribe to this channel, Minds of Aspirant, and please do click that link on Minds of Aspirant Telegram and join the group for many such updates. Thank you and all the best.